An emotional reunion at the military base, when Jungkook wiped away Taehyung's tears. An unexpected arrival, Jungkook opens the door to memories. What started as an ordinary day at a military base suddenly turned into a moment that would be remembered for years to come. The atmosphere shifted when a black car pulled up at the main gate. A mysterious figure stepped out, dressed entirely in black with a cap and mask concealing his identity. Yet his posture, gait, and unmistakable aura were impossible to hide. It was Jungkook. Without security personnel or a management crew, he arrived alone, sparking curiosity among the soldiers who began whispering among themselves. No one knew the reason for his sudden visit, until an unexpected, heart-stirring scene unfolded. A heart-wrenching reunion, Taehyung runs and sobs in Jungkook's arms. From the middle of the training field, Kim Taehyung, immersed in his military routine, suddenly came to a halt. His gaze locked onto the distant figure at the gate. It took him a few seconds to register what he was seeing. But once realization struck, he sprinted without hesitation. Without regard for the watching eyes of his fellow soldiers, Taehyung rushed toward Jungkook and embraced him tightly. The soldiers were stunned. Taehyung, known for his composed and resilient demeanor, was now sobbing uncontrollably. His shoulders shook, his face buried in Jungkook's shoulder, as if finally releasing all the emotions he had been holding back. Jungkook remained silent. He simply returned the embrace, gently patting Taehyung's back and whispering words that only the two of them could hear. But one thing was certain, this moment was far more than just an ordinary reunion. Unraveling the mystery behind Taehyung's tears. The story quickly spread, sparking speculation among fans. What had really happened? Why did Taehyung cry as if carrying the weight of the world on his shoulders? In a brief interview, Jungkook finally broke his silence. I know many were surprised to see Taehyung like that. But to me it was a genuine outpouring of emotions, something he just couldn't hold back anymore, he said. Jungkook explained that the strict discipline of military life had severely limited their communication. Taehyung, who was used to the bright stage lights and the companionship of his groupmates, had to suddenly adapt to a rigid environment far from his usual routine. The emotions he had suppressed for so long finally overflowed when he saw someone so familiar and dear to him. ARMY's question, is there more to the story? On social media, ARMY began speculating that there was more to this emotional encounter. Some fans pointed out that Taehyung appeared noticeably thinner and more fatigued in recent photos. Was military life taking a heavier toll on him than expected? Or was there something deeper that the public wasn't aware of? One undeniable truth remained, the bond between Jungkook and Taehyung was far more than just ordinary friendship. They had shared a long journey from dazzling concert stages to countless private moments. In an industry that could often feel cold and demanding, having someone who truly understands is an irreplaceable treasure. A wave of support from ARMY and fellow BTS members. This moment quickly went viral, igniting an outpouring of support from fans. Hashtags like #StayStrongTaehyung and #JungkookForTaehyung flooded social media, showcasing the immense love ARMY had for their idol. Not only fans but also fellow BTS members expressed their support. RM, the group's leader, reportedly sent words of encouragement, while Jimin and J-Hope, who were also serving in the military, voiced their understanding of Taehyung's struggles. In the rigid world of military life, where emotions are often expected to be restrained, this moment proved that true friendship knows no boundaries. And for Taehyung, at least on that day, the embrace of an old friend meant more than anything else. A moment of respite, Jungkook's words of comfort. After the overwhelming emotions settled, Taehyung and Jungkook took a quiet walk along the base, away from the curious eyes of the soldiers. The cool evening breeze carried their hushed conversation, a mix of soft chuckles and heartfelt reassurances. For Taehyung, this unexpected visit was more than just a reunion, it was a much-needed reminder that he was not alone. Jungkook, understanding Taehyung's struggles, reassured him in a low, comforting voice. You're doing great, Taehyung. We all miss you and we're waiting for you. Just hold on a little longer. Taehyung, wiping the last traces of his tears, managed a small smile. It's tough, but I'll be okay. Seeing you here means everything. The short but meaningful exchange was a testament to their unwavering friendship. Even in the face of hardships, Jungkook's presence provided Taehyung with the strength to push forward. An unforgettable farewell, Jungkook's silent promise. As the time for Jungkook's departure approached, the atmosphere grew heavier. The visit, though brief, had brought much-needed warmth to Taeyong's heart. Standing at the entrance of the base, they shared one final embrace, neither wanting to let go too soon. Before stepping back into his car, Jungkook gave Taeyong a firm nod. "Stay strong, alright? I'll be back soon." Taeyong, standing tall despite the emotions still swirling inside him, responded with a determined nod. "I'll be waiting." With that, Jungkook turned and left, the black car disappearing into the distance. But even after it was out of sight, Taeyong remained in place, taking a deep breath before heading back to his duties, his heart now lighter, his resolve stronger. A lasting impact, what this moment means for BTS and ARMY. The emotional reunion between Taeyong and Jungkook resonated deeply with BTS fans worldwide. It was a rare, raw glimpse into the genuine bond shared by the members, one built on years of trust, shared dreams, and unwavering support. For ARMY, this moment was a powerful reminder that BTS was more than just a musical group. They were a family. Messages of encouragement and love continued to pour in, reinforcing the deep connection between the idols and their fans. As Taeyong continued his military service, one thing was certain. No matter the distance or circumstances, the friendship between him and Jungkook would remain unshaken. And for ARMY, this heartfelt reunion would be etched in memory as a symbol of resilience, loyalty, and unbreakable bonds. A new chapter begins, Taeyong's renewed strength. In the days following Jungkook's visit, Taeyong approached his military duties with a newfound determination. His fellow soldiers noticed a shift. His posture was more upright, his eyes more focused, and his energy more resilient. The emotional burden he had carried seemed to have lightened, replaced with the quiet strength of knowing he had unwavering support outside the base. During a rare break, Taeyong took a moment to reflect. Sitting beneath a tree, he pulled out a small notebook, one he had carried with him since the beginning of his enlistment. In it, he scribbled thoughts, lyrics, and words of encouragement to himself. Jungkook's visit had reminded him why he had started this journey and why he had to see it through. Messages from ARMY continued to flood in, reaching him through letters and military-approved social media updates. Each message fueled his determination, reminding him that he was not just serving alone, he had millions of supporters waiting for his return. An unexpected surprise, a special message from BTS. One evening, as Taeyong returned from training, a commanding officer handed him a package. Inside was a carefully wrapped item, an envelope containing handwritten letters from all BTS members. Each letter carried words of encouragement, humor, and nostalgia, bridging the gap between military life and the world he had temporarily left behind. RM wrote words of wisdom, reminding Taeyong to embrace the discipline and structure as a learning experience. Jimin and J-Hope filled their letters with playful banter, ensuring their friend knew he was still very much part of their daily conversations. Suga and Jin, both having completed their own military service, reassured him that time would pass faster than he expected. And Jungkook? His letter was simple yet powerful. "No matter how far we are, we're always together. You got this, Young." Tears welled up in Taeyong's eyes again, but this time they were not from sadness or loneliness. They were tears of gratitude, of love, and of the unshakable bond he shared with his brothers. Looking up at the night sky, Taeyong smiled. The road ahead was still long, but he was ready to face it with unwavering strength. A test of resilience, Taeyong faces his toughest challenge yet. As Taeyong settled into the rhythm of military life, a new challenge awaited him, an intensive field training exercise designed to push soldiers to their physical and mental limits. It was a grueling test, demanding endurance, strength, and resilience. For Taeyong, it was an opportunity to prove to himself that he was capable of overcoming any obstacle. The training days were long and relentless. The harsh winter wind bit at his skin, exhaustion weighed heavy on his muscles, and the rigorous drills left little room for rest. Yet, through it all, he remained steadfast. With every push-up, every march, and every sleepless night, he reminded himself of the support he had from BTS and ARMY. During a particularly challenging night exercise, Taeyong found himself alone in the cold, carrying heavy gear through rugged terrain. His body ached, his breath came in ragged gasps, but he pressed on. The words of Jungkook's letter echoed in his mind, "You got this, Young." Then, a moment of camaraderie emerged. Fellow soldiers, noticing his determination, stepped in to support him. "You're strong, Taeyong. Don't give up," one of them said, offering to carry some of his gear. It was a simple gesture, but it reignited his resolve. By the end of the training exercise, Taeyong had proven his strength, not just to his superiors but to himself. When he finally returned to his barracks, exhausted but accomplished, he knew he had reached a turning point. Through perseverance, support, and self-belief, Taeyong had transformed his military journey into a personal triumph, one that would shape him not only as a soldier but as an individual prepared to face any challenge life had in store.
I got a switch in my head, I go from living to dead. You got me seeing all red, now I'm becoming a threat. I fucking heard what you said.